In the heart of a vast, ancient forest, where the sunlight filtered through the canopy in golden streams and the air was thick with the scent of pine and earth, there lived a Zen master named Hoshi. His small hut stood at the edge of a bamboo grove, a place where the tall, slender stalks swayed gently in the breeze, their leaves whispering secrets to the wind. Hoshi was known far and wide for his wisdom, and people from distant villages would journey through the forest to seek his counsel. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the forest was bathed in the soft glow of twilight, a young man named Kaito stumbled into the clearing. His clothes were disheveled, his face etched with exhaustion, and his eyes carried the weight of someone who had been battling the world, and losing. Kaito had once been full of dreams and ambition, but life had not been kind to him. He had faced failure after failure, rejection after rejection, and now he felt as though he had reached the end of his rope. "Master," Kaito said, his voice trembling with frustration, "I've tried everything. I've worked hard, followed the rules, and done everything I was supposed to do. But nothing seems to work. I feel like I'm stuck, like I'm going nowhere. What should I do?" Hoshi, who had been sitting cross-legged under a bamboo tree, opened his eyes and regarded the young man with a calm, penetrating gaze. He gestured for Kaito to sit beside him. "Come," he said softly. "Let me tell you a story. Long ago, in a forest much like this one, there lived two trees, a mighty oak and a young bamboo shoot. The oak was proud of its strength. Its trunk was thick and sturdy, its branches reached high into the sky, and its roots ran deep into the earth. It cast a large shadow over the forest floor, and the animals would often gather beneath its branches for shelter. The oak believed itself to be invincible, a symbol of power and resilience. The bamboo, on the other hand, was thin and flexible. It swayed with the wind, bending low to the ground whenever a storm passed. The other trees in the forest often mocked the bamboo for its apparent weakness. "Why do you bend so easily?" they would ask. "Why don't you stand tall and strong like the oak?" The bamboo would simply smile and say, "I bend because it is my nature. I do not resist the wind, for I know that resistance leads to destruction." One day, a fierce storm swept through the forest. The sky darkened, the wind howled, and the rain fell in torrents. The oak tree stood tall, refusing to bend. "I am strong," it thought. "I will not yield to this storm." But as the wind grew stronger, the oak's roots began to strain. Its branches creaked and groaned under the pressure, and finally, with a loud crack, it snapped in two. The bamboo, however, continued to bend. It touched the ground, but it did not break. When the storm passed, the bamboo stood tall once more, unharmed. As Hoshi finished the story, Kaito sat in silence, his mind racing. He had always admired strength and resilience, but he had never considered the power of flexibility. "So, you're saying I should be like the bamboo?" he asked. "Bend instead of break?" Hoshi nodded. "Not just bend, but understand why the bamboo bends. The bamboo does not resist the storm because it knows that resistance leads to destruction. It adapts, it flows, and in doing so, it survives. The oak, for all its strength, could not adapt. It resisted, and it broke." Kaito thought about his own life. He had always tried to push through his challenges with sheer willpower, refusing to give up even when the odds were against him. But perhaps, he realized, there was another way. Perhaps he needed to learn how to adapt, to flow with the challenges instead of resisting them. Over the next few weeks, Kaito stayed with Hoshi in the forest, learning the ways of the bamboo. He practiced mindfulness, meditation, and the art of letting go. He began to see his failures not as obstacles, but as opportunities to grow. He learned to bend without breaking, to adapt without losing himself. One day, as they sat by the river, Hoshi said, "Life, like the storm, is unpredictable. It will test you, challenge you, and sometimes, it will try to break you. But if you learn to adapt, to flow with the challenges instead of resisting them, you will find that you are stronger than you think." Kaito nodded, a sense of peace settling over him. He realized that true resilience was not about being unbreakable, but about learning how to bend without losing oneself. It was about finding strength in flexibility, and peace in adaptability. When Kaito finally left the forest, he carried with him the lessons of the bamboo. He faced his challenges with a new perspective, learning to adapt and flow with the storms of life. He no longer saw failure as the end, but as a stepping stone to growth. And in time, he found that he was not only surviving, but thriving. Years later, Kaito returned to the forest to visit Hoshi. He found the old master sitting under the same bamboo tree, his eyes closed in meditation. Kaito sat beside him and said, "Master, I think I understand now. It's not about avoiding the storm, but learning how to dance in the rain." Hoshi opened his eyes and smiled. "Yes," he said. "And remember, the bamboo does not grow overnight. It takes time, patience, and care. But when it grows, it reaches great heights, standing tall and strong, yet always flexible." As Kaito walked away from the forest, he felt a deep sense of gratitude. He had learned that resilience was not about being unyielding, but about being adaptable. It was about finding strength in flexibility, and peace in the ability to flow with life's challenges. And so, the story of the bamboo and the oak became a guiding light for Kaito, a reminder that in life's storms, it is not the strongest who survive, but those who can adapt and flow with the winds of change. If this story resonated with you, remember that life will always have its storms. But like the bamboo, you have the power to bend without breaking, to adapt without losing yourself. Embrace the challenges, learn from them, and grow stronger with each passing day. And if you found this story inspiring, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more timeless lessons and motivational tales. Together, let's learn to dance in the rain and grow tall like the bamboo. Seedling.